CIA's 1953 research budget allotted roughly $10 million to be dedicated to human experimentation involving hypnosis and amnesia, utilizing the effects of heroin, morphine, barbiturates, amphetamines, LSD, BZ, scopolamine, and other hallucination-causing compounds.
Project Chatter was conducted in order to identify agents synthetic and natural that could enhance interrogation. Project Bluebird experimented with the possibility of using humans as mind-controlled warfare agents. CIA Director Alan Dulles was quoted as complaining that they did not have enough human guinea pigs to try these extraordinary techniques. Thus, officially, the MKUltra project was sanctioned in 1953.
A 1977 FOIA request unearthed 20,000 documents related to MKUltra after Frank Church and the Ford administration began investigating the CIA in 1975.
Most of those documents were destroyed. However, bureaucratic red tape bungling allowed 20,000 documents to survive, as they had been incorrectly stored in a financial records building.
We are not professing to tell you the complete story of these activities. We are professing to tell you the complete story that we know.
The United States government has perfected a technological capability. At the same time, that capability at any time could be turned around on the American people. There would be no place to hide the technological capacity that the intelligence community has given the government could enable it to impose total tyranny.
I'm Christy Nicola, born July of 1962, rendering me 32 years of age. I was a subject in radiation as well as mind control and drug experiments performed by a man I knew as Dr. Green. All these experiments were performed on me in conjunction with mind control techniques and drugs in Tucson, Arizona.
And now, due to the unyielding efforts of John Greenwald, founder of the document archive website, theblackvault.com, we are learning that the notorious MKUltra research was just scraping the surface.
Everything has been kind of lumped into this mind control MKUltra program. What these thousands of pages that I just received and put online at theblackvault.com, what they prove is we do not have the full story. What they prove is MKUltra was just simply the tip of the iceberg, that there was a heck of a lot more going on, that there are project names that are still redacted. And why that's important is, according to the CIA, they've kind of, quote unquote, released everything to us. So investigators have had these for years. But what these prove is that's not entirely true. And these documents show that they were not even related to MKUltra, but they were doing experiments where they are implanting devices, and they started with dogs. And Newsweek wrote this up, did a great job with it, that they were implanting these things in dog brains and were able to control dogs and have success with it. Now, you might think, well, that's just dogs. Who cares? Well, this was the tip of the iceberg when it came to that research. What comes next? When you master it in animals.
Tens of thousands of military volunteer. They got guys that'll volunteer to go on suicide missions. They've already volunteered. They've already done it all. I know people that got recruited into these programs, and I know people that refused the programs, but they, in the 80s, they already had giant, literal underground facilities in Maryland where they were creating all sorts of people, let's just say, that could infiltrate things with hidden devices in their bodies.
As a republic that fought valiantly to end the horror of the Nazi regime and its experimentation on humanity, why in the world do we continue to allow this research to prey on our fellow citizens?
Intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
You briefed the press, did you not, when you were there? When we, the CIA, wanted to circulate disinformation on a particular issue, disinformation is not necessarily a lie, it may be a half-truth. And we would pick out a journalist, I would go do the briefing and hope that he would put the information in print.
The Central Intelligence Agency operates under National Security Council Memo 10-2, which says that it can engage in criminal activity, it can overthrow governments, it can control media as long as it's plausibly deniable. Once these agencies are imbued with this power over speech and it becomes embedded and mature, the entire administration and ebb and flow of elections comes under its heel.
How many times did I tell you the whole Sandy Hook lawsuit operation was run by the CIA and the FBI, and now it's all admitted?
Gavin O'Blennis is a contracting officer at the CIA. O'Blennis worked for the FBI in 2021 and 2022 in the San Diego office, moved on to Homeland Security where he conducted asylum interviews at the southern border, and now works for the CIA managing multi-million-dollar contracts across government agencies and private sector vendors.
We call it a nudge.
A nudge.
A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick little, just to see what happens, right?
And how does that happen?
You put a post out there, or you have someone fake profile say something that triggers, that we know is going to trigger them, right? Like we already know your history.
Like a big influencer that you're after.
You always want the biggest and loudest.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, so we were after him.
You are? Are you still after him? Why?
Because he's broke. He got found guilty and had to pay like $100 million.
So why were you after him?
We're not anymore.
Just to get the money from him?
Yeah.
Was that court case used? Was that a CIA
Sure
thing?
was.
That was an agency thing?
Well, actually it was a defamation case. So it's a civil, not government. But we were looking at all of his followers on our purview. It's a civil matter. But since they got all this access to his stuff and it's there, what can we go find?
And did you find anything?
I can't determine what we did. We don't encourage people, but like we just say there's no federal statute being broken, but you do have the option for a civil case, and it's a pretty good case.
Nice.
In our opinion.
So, that makes so much sense. I have a cousin who's a lawyer. So that's a lot of these cases. They're kind of encouraged by the FBI.
Yeah, like there's nothing federal law we can do, but civilly, we can go at them that way and chop his legs off.
What the establishment engage in is lawfare, where they engage in legal complexity, opponents or dissidents in order to drain their resources, whether that's Donald Trump or Alex Jones or ad infinitum. Any truly dissident or dissenting voice may face a series of measures to bring them down, but the common problem is dissent and the ability to convey information to you that may make you less obedient and more compliant.
In my experience, living on your knees, you die a lot quicker and your life's terrible and you die 1,000 deaths. Has been said many times. Hero dies but once, but the coward dies 1,000 deaths. So I'm very honored to be here with you. I'm very thankful to God. I'm very thankful to the audience and the great activists and the crew for battling through all this. We're being totally vindicated right now. So this is quite a moment, but we are winning battles. We've not won the war, but we are turning the tide together.
As an ex-CIA agent opposed to the disinformation activities in which I was involved. I admit that I was involved, and I think it served no useful purpose. Propagandizing the American public or Congress is not the CIA's job.
While other networks lie to you